Our journey began on a seemingly normal day as we pulled up to the Ravenwood House. A grand old manor, nestled amongst the whispering willows of Benton, Arkansas. Its majestic architecture was a testament to the bygone era, its towering spires reaching for the heavens and its vast windows reflecting the world around it. It was a sight to behold, a relic of the past, standing proud and unyielding. I am Jake, and this is my family, my wife, Lisa, and our two children, Sam and Emily. We were city folks, seeking a quieter life amidst nature's embrace. On that sunny afternoon as we disembarked from our moving truck, we were oblivious to the chilling tale that awaited us inside the Ravenwood House. The house stood there, silent and unassuming, its wooden facade emanating a sense of grandeur and mystery. The surrounding woods were quiet, too quiet, as if holding their breath, watching us with 1,000 unseen eyes. The birds seemed to sing a melancholic tune, their songs echoing through the deafening silence. As we walked towards the house, I could feel a distinct chill in the air, a chilling undercurrent that made the hairs on the back of my neck stand on end. The house, with its weather-beaten exterior and ivy-clad walls, seemed to be watching us, its hollow windows like vacant eyes, peering into our souls. The grandeur of the house was undeniable. Yet there was something eerie about it, something that sent a shiver down my spine. It was as if the house was breathing, alive with unseen entities, its walls echoing with whispers from the past. And then, there was that chilling feeling, an inexplicable sensation of being watched. It was subtle, like a shadow lurking in the corner of my eye, always there, but never quite visible. As we stepped inside, my heart pounded against my chest, and I had a sinking feeling that we were not alone. The first sign of trouble came that very night. The house, with its sprawling rooms and towering walls, seemed to come alive in the darkness. The quiet ticking of the clock in the foyer was suddenly interrupted by a peculiar noise. It was a slow, rhythmic creaking, like the groaning of an old wooden ship tossed on a turbulent sea. The sound was coming from the staircase. At first I dismissed it as the natural noises of an old house settling into the night. The house was, after all, a relic of a bygone era, its wooden bones creaking under the weight of time and history. But as the night wore on, the creaking grew louder, more insistent. It was as if the staircase had a voice of its own, whispering tales of the past into the silent night. The creaking echoed through the empty corridors, a haunting melody that seemed to carry with it the whispers of secrets long buried. I tried to ignore it, to convince myself it was nothing more than the house's old age. But as I lay in bed, the creaking filled the silence, its rhythm matching the pounding of my heart. It became a symphony of unease, each note scratching at my nerves, making the hairs on the back of my neck stand on end. The staircase, with its carved wooden banisters and worn steps, seemed to come alive in the moonlight. Each creak was like a footstep, a spectral presence making its slow ascent through the darkness. The sounds took on an eerie cadence, a rhythm that hinted at a presence that was not of this world. I could no longer dismiss it as the house settling or the wind whistling through the eaves. The staircase was speaking, its voice resonating with a haunting echo that sent chills down my spine. I lay there in the darkness, listening to the creaking staircase, knowing deep down that we were not alone in Ravenwood House. Sleep eluded me that night as the creaking of the staircase echoed throughout the house. The symphony of sounds was a chilling reminder of the house's spectral past, a past that was slowly revealing itself in the dead of night. The following night, I was introduced to the house's first resident. As the moon cast long, eerie shadows through the hallways of Ravenwood House, an ethereal presence made itself known. It was like a chill wind that seemed to seep through the very walls of the old house, causing the hairs on the back of my neck to stand on end. In the dimly lit corridor, a spectral figure began to take form. A faint, ghostly silhouette that was barely discernible at first, but with each passing second it grew more distinct, more real. Its appearance was so sudden, so unexpected that I initially brushed it off as a trick of the light or perhaps a figment of my overactive imagination. However, the figure lingered, hovering in the cold, moonlit corridor. It was a sight that defied all logic, all reason. It was a sight that made my heart pound in my chest like a wild drum, my breath hitching in my throat. The figure was humanoid, but it was like looking at a negative image of a human being. It was composed entirely of shadows and moonlight, its form wavering as if caught in a constant state of flux. The most haunting feature was its eyes, or rather, the hollow spaces where its eyes should have been. They were dark, Abyssal voids that seemed to stare right through me, piercing the very depths of my soul. I watched, paralyzed with a mix of terror and disbelief, as the apparition flickered like a faulty projection before finally fading away into nothingness. The corridor was once again empty, the only remnants of the spectral figure being the cold dread that clung to the air and the rapid pounding of my heart. That night, the reality of our haunted house finally sunk in. The spectral figure was just the first of many otherworldly residents we would encounter in Ravenwood House, each one more terrifying than the last. But that first encounter, that first chilling brush with the supernatural, will forever be etched in my memory, a haunting reminder of the ghostly apparition in the moonlit corridor. The third day marked the beginning of the mirror hauntings. As I moved through the grand old house, the antique mirrors adorning the walls began to play tricks on my mind. At first it was a flicker, a shadowy figure that didn't match my own. Then, as the days wore on, the reflections grew more pronounced, more chilling. Every mirror seemed to hold a lingering presence, an eerie echo of the past. The large gilded mirror in the hallway was the worst. Every time I passed by, I felt a pair of invisible eyes watching me. A chill would run down my spine, and my reflection would distort, morphing into a ghostly figure that mimicked my movements. The specter's eyes, hollow and devoid of warmth, stared back at me, its gaze penetrating the veil between our worlds. In the quiet solitude of the night, I could hear the whispers of these mirror-bound phantoms. Their voices, like the soft rustling of autumn leaves, filled the silent house with an orchestra of despair. Their mournful cries echoed around me, a chilling reminder of the house's dark past. The bathroom mirror was no respite. As I brushed my teeth or washed my face, I could see a looming figure standing behind me. It was always there, watching, waiting. Its icy stare sent shivers down my spine, a constant reminder that I was never truly alone in that house. The mirrors in Ravenwood House were no longer just reflective surfaces, they had become portals, gateways to a haunting parallel world, a world filled with specters trapped within the glass, forever watching, forever waiting. They were the silent observers of our lives, their chilling gaze a constant reminder of the line that separated the living from the dead. As the days turned into weeks, the mirror hauntings became a part of our lives. We lived under the constant surveillance of these spectral entities, their existence intertwined with ours. The mirrors no longer reflected our reality but a haunting parallel world. As the days turned into nights, the house came alive with whispers. Sounds that once seemed mundane during the day took on an eerie significance under the cloak of darkness. The wind rustling through the ancient trees outside became the sighs of lost souls. The old wooden floorboards creaked under the weight of unseen specters. But it was the whispers that were the most chilling. They filled the silence of the night, a ceaseless symphony of hushed conversations, as if the house itself was reliving its past. The voices were indistinct, like a radio tuned between stations, but the undertone of despair was unmistakable. It was as though the very walls were bleeding with the anguish of the dead. Sometimes the whispers would grow louder, as if trying to convey a message from the other side. Other times they would fade to a soft susurrus, like the rustle of leaves in an autumn breeze, a haunting lullaby that kept sleep at bay. And then, there were the doors. Doors that we had latched securely before bed, would creak open in the dead of the night, revealing nothing but the darkness beyond. Other doors would slam shut with a force that belied the stillness of the night, startling us from our restless slumber. It was as if the spirits of the house were playing a macabre game of hide and seek, taunting us with their spectral presence. These nightly occurrences became our twisted routine, a chilling reminder of the unseen inhabitants of Ravenwood House. We were mere guests in their eternal domicile, living in the shadow of their spectral existence. Each whisper, each creaking door was a stark reminder of the house's dark history, a narrative of sorrow and despair that unfolded with each passing night. The whispers were a constant reminder that we were living in a house that belonged to the dead, a house that echoed with the regret of unfinished lives and whispered tales of sorrow from a time long past. We were intruders in their realm, a realm where the living coexisted with the dead, in a house that never truly slept. In the moonlit garden we found the lost souls of Ravenwood's children. An eerie symphony of laughter echoed through the night air, a chilling testament to the innocence lost in time. The garden, once a sanctuary of childhood joy, now served as their spectral playground. Shadowy figures, playful yet somber, danced between the twisted arms of the ancient trees, Their laughter, once a sound of pure joy, had morphed into a haunting melody that echoed in the still night. It was a chilling spectacle, a dance of shadows under the pale moonlight. These were the forgotten children of Ravenwood, their youthful energy forever trapped within the confines of this haunted ground. As we watched, a profound sadness washed over us. These were children, their lives abruptly taken, their spirits unable to find the peace they so deserved. Their laughter was not one of joy, but a chilling reminder of their tragic fate. Their games were not of fun, but an endless loop of the life they once knew. This was no ordinary haunting. This was a tragedy etched in the very soul of Ravenwood. These innocent souls were not just specters, they were the echoes of a forgotten past, forever bound to the land they once called home. The heartbreak was palpable. To see their playful shadows, to hear their haunting laughter, was a chilling encounter. Yet beneath the fear, there was a sense of profound sorrow. These were children who should have grown up, made mistakes, experienced life in all its glory and pain. Instead, they were trapped in an endless loop of play and laughter, oblivious to their fate. In the face of such a tragic spectacle, one can't help but feel a mixture of fear and sorrow. Fear for the supernatural manifestation of these lost souls, and sorrow for the life they were denied. This was the true horror of Ravenwood, a horror that transcends the fear of the unknown and touches the very core of our humanity. These innocent souls were trapped in an endless loop of play and laughter, oblivious to their fate. Sleep offered no escape from the horrors of Ravenwood. Slumber, a sanctuary for most, became my personal purgatory. The moment my eyes closed, the veil between reality and the spectral world thinned, and I plunged into a realm of terror. Every night, I found myself walking down the same shadowy corridors of Ravenwood House, the echoes of its tortured past reaching out from the darkness. The walls whispered tales of despair, each room holding its own grim story. I could hear the sobs of a woman mourning her lost love, the cries of children that once echoed through these halls now silenced by time. The staircase creaked under the weight of unseen entities, each step a chilling reminder of the house's gruesome history. The ghostly apparition from the moonlit corridor followed me, its hollow eyes reflecting the agony of countless souls trapped within the mansion's walls. Mirrors shattered as I passed, their shards revealing distorted reflections of the house's previous inhabitants, their chilling gazes locked onto me. The spectral whispers grew louder, filling my mind with terrifying images of Ravenwood's past. In the garden, the ghostly laughter of the forgotten children turned into screams, their playful shadows morphing into twisted figures of despair. The once innocent laughter was now a chilling soundtrack to my nightmares, a haunting lullaby that echoed in the silence of the night. The dreams blurred the lines between reality and the spectral realm, each nightmarish sequence intertwining with my waking moments. I could no longer tell where the dream ended and reality began. The horrors of the night bled into the day, the haunting echoes of Ravenwood's past never leaving my side. These nightmares were not just figments of my imagination, they were the house's memories seeping into my subconscious, weaving a tapestry of torment that was impossible to escape. Each sleepless night offered a glimpse into the darkness that had consumed so many before me. The nightmares were a window into the tortured past of Ravenwood House. The whispers grew louder, more insistent. Each syllable, each chilling breath of the unseen, clawed at my sanity. They were no longer mere echoes reverberating off the ancient walls of Ravenwood House. They were voices, spectral utterances that seemed to be trying to tell me something crucial, something dire. My nights were consumed by these eerie whispers, my days haunted by their incomprehensible messages. Fear gnawed at my soul, desperation seeped into my bones. I felt like a stranger in my own home, a prisoner of the unseen. I was living in a perpetual state of dread, waiting for the next whisper, the next spectral utterance. Each whisper was a testament to the house's tormented past, a grim reminder of the spectral inhabitants we were sharing our lives with. As the whispers grew louder, a horrifying realization dawned upon me. We were not just living with the dead, we were living in their world.